Hey, say hi to the pod.
Hey y'all, this is Ben. I'm a head coach 10 years, pro boxer, and trying to get this guy to come in and do some real boxing work with me.
So
Oh, wow.
I don't want to take too much of your time, but as a head box coach, right? Like as somebody who's been through, what's like one piece of life advice you could give the podcast right now that would help our listeners? We do a lot of God work on here. We talk about a lot of holy things. Give me some piece of advice right now that you would think.
Honestly, yeah, I love the opportunity. Thank you for letting me say this. I would say, you know what? Whether you want to be a fighter or not, if you're into it, you're competing, you're just there for fitness. The number one thing is just be consistent. You're gonna outwork the guy with skill, the guy with all that natural talent, just by working hard every day. The guy with natural talent, he comes in 2 times a day, compared to the guy who just just works hard 5, 6 days of the week. You're gonna be on top in no time. Promise.
Hunchback Insomniac, Hunchback Insomniac, Hunchback Insomniac, Hunchback Insomniac.
All right. Yeah. But I mean, I do think that it obviously makes a big difference when you do pray for these shows and you pray for the pod and you even if it's a phenomenon that when you do it, it's not even too much about because I don't know if God would meddle in, a comedy show.
Yeah.
But it's just thinking and kind of like making the realization that like we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God, or we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the situation, the situation that we're in. And I feel like that's kind of just like, it just helps people. Like when you pray for something, it just helps people understand that being thankful for where you are or being thankful for what's able to happen is kind of is why it is, because even like when Aaron started praying for that show on Thursday, you could tell he was just like just thanking God for making the show a ability to happen. Like,
no, that's really cool.
A lot of things come together where things that are like beyond you powers just like throw themselves together and if you're not thankful for at least the universe or the creator of the universe for making that happen, then
even just waking up healthy,
that's a big thing right there. Is people talk about that a lot, where it's like people go years and days without thanking the most simple things, the most simple things that can happen in your life without thanking the small, those are called the unspoken miracles that nobody says anything about,
Yeah. And I generally find myself like I need to pray more, and I know that, and I'm trying to be better about that, just for like, not just in situations, but when I do pray, it's always generally like I'm praying that God continues to guide me in his will. Yeah. It's kind of like my personal prayer that I do. Yeah. So I find myself doing that one a lot.
Yeah. And that's the best thing. Yeah. Just being able to just be like, whatever happens. And I feel like this helps a lot with comedy, right? Because we're stand-up comedians, so we talk about comedy a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like this helps because you're going to go through a lot of bad days.
Oh yeah.
You're going to go through a lot of bad times. You're going to go through a lot of of self just being ashamed of yourself or self-doubt and these kind of things and just being like, you know what? I'm thankful for even being here.
Yeah.
Being able to breathe and being able to walk and being able to get on stage or anything like that. Just being thankful to your creator. That right there alone is what's going to help you get through most of the problems that are going to come with comedy.
Oh yeah.
Just being thankful for, like, even if you do it for 10 years without the most outcome, you're still just doing something that people wish they could do. And you're given the courage and giving the might to be able to do it with no fear,
Because I'm sure we've said it before, but probably on the earlier pod that we did, but kind of just realizing and finding out after already being in stand-up for a couple months, but public speaking is like the number one fear in the world.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that was a thing, but apparently like that's pretty factual.
Something real quick.
If you like look into that kind of stuff. What are you doing over there?
Just fixing something real quick.
Oh, fixing some fixins.
Lowering our mic levels just a tiny bit, just in case it's a little overbearing. So if the mic levels are different from
Before
to now, that is why.
That is why.
I mean, there's a lot of things that we do that like a lot of people find as fear, you know, but doesn't that blow your mind that there's people out there who do things that are like people's main fears?
Yeah.
Like there's people out there that do the like skydiving. There's people who are deathly afraid of heights. They can't go near heights.
Yeah.
There's people that jump off buildings, jump off cliffs, you know?
Right. I was just thinking of the people that do the free solo climbing without any harnesses and stuff.
That scares me.
Dude, every time I see those videos,
I did that for a while.
My hands just start getting clammy.
You know, I did that for a while.
Really?
Yeah, I did free. I did before I got insanely, big. I used to do that. I was
pretty
I was a
crazy.
big free climber. Well, what stopped it was I was hiking one time and I was climbing up the side of a mountain and I was getting there. I was really good at finding pockets, because you got to find these little pockets to where you can hold, And I was hugging the mountain and I reached up and I grabbed a pocket and I felt a sting like into my fingers, like all of my fingers, like all three of my fingers.
Cactus?
I felt this. I looked down and there was a bunch of bees stuck on my finger.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was probably like 80 feet up. So I'm like 80 feet up on the face of a mountain, and I had 3 bee stings. And when you get a bee sting, your hands go kind of numb.
Yeah.
Like everything kind of went numb. So it was extremely dangerous, extremely frightening. And
Whoa.
I definitely that was the last time I realized. I was like, I have more things going on, I don't.
Yeah.
It definitely scared me. It did put the fear in my heart a little bit, where I was like, ugh, man, that could have gone very bad. I could be paralyzed.
Yeah. I like I said, I probably already said this before, but I'll say it again. I had a experience like that once, where it was probably like close to 10 years ago or 8 years ago or something, before I moved here. I was in Seattle with my friend Luke, and we were all just like drinking and hanging out, and then we ended up like walking out in the streets, and we walked to these docks, and we ended up meeting these random guys that owned a boat, and they're like, hey, you want to check out our boat? And we're like, yeah. So we were checking out their boat, and there's those straight up and down ladders to like the mast.
Yeah.
And it was like, the steel ladders, like small rungs, and
Yeah, like
it had
steel ladder match like in WWE.
Yeah, and it had rained the night before, and this guy was in the Navy, so he just started climbing up the ladder and went all the way to the top, right? Like it was nothing. So I was like, oh, I want to climb it, and I started climbing it, bro. I got like 15, 20 feet up, and my foot slipped because it was wet, and I was like,
gosh.
Oh, this is how, like, if I don't turn back now, I'm like, this is sketch, dude. I'm like looking all the way up, and there's just water dripping off the ladder, and I'm like, yep. I just like had to like an instinct to like not do that, and I'm like, this is probably not a good idea.
Well, you just realize you're like, oh, I hear stories of people.
Yeah, dude, everything started going through my head, and it was so scary going down, dude. I was like gripping for dear life, just trying to go like 20 feet down.
Well, that's what it is. Is you realize
nuts,
how,
dude. I'm like,
you realize how people get into accidents like that.
Yeah,
and you're like, I'm stupid.
It was definitely like a self-realization, because I tend to do stuff like that. When I was a kid, I used to like jump off roofs and crap. And like climb trees. Trees are I'd rather climb a tree any day of the week than like a ladder or something. But
I was telling this story the other day. I was talking with 2 older gentlemen about like, why kids don't go outside anymore, and like, about like playing in trees and stuff. And I was telling them, I was like, oh, we used to do like mud fights when I was a kid, like my family, like all my siblings, right?
Oh yeah.
And then I was
balls.
like, yeah, we used to climb this tree. We had this big like oak tree in the back, or not like an oak tree, but like a pine tree, a big old pine tree.
Yeah.
And I remember one time my sister, Courtney, shout out Courtney, she was climbing the pine tree and just ding, 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 smacked the ground. I was like, oh my gosh. I was just telling that story the other day.
Whoa. Like a branch broke or something?
His branch broke, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've told you that story about the last time I climbed a tree.
I think so.
I grabbed a branch and then
it
just snapped and I just hit the ground like yeah, no, straight up. I just want to do a shout out to those who've been watching the pod in the last couple of months. I just want to do a shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for watching the pod.
Yeah.
And I do want to report that I am losing weight. So I do realize I'm the one who edits the pod. I did see how fat I've gotten in the last couple of pods. Like if you watch the last pod to now, I'm already much skinnier. I was having a little bit of a lump there, dude. They'll comment. I comment and let them know. You could see it. I remember that. Dude, yeah. I had fat, dude.
Yeah.
But now I'm back to I'm running 2 miles a day. I'm getting thinner,
Okay.
Yeah. Cause it was bad, dude. It was so bad, dude. I got big, dude. And there's no problem being fat. Okay. I let you guys know right now. If you're fat and happy, be fat
Nothing
and happy. I completely applaud that. My thing in life, right, is I am a nervous wreck. I have anxiety. If I see what's the one thing in not a scary movie, but like a zombie movie or an apocalypse movie, what's the first thing that you see every time when the apocalypse is starting? Black helicopter, right? Movie's starting, everything's fine. They're just throwing some, families outside in the yard, throwing a football to each other, just having their good old time. And then and you're like, oh, dude, the end of the world's happening, right? You're like, oh, there's a black helicopter. Right when the black helicopter comes, 3 more. Cops go by. Zombies have started, right? So every time. Car crashes. Glita, glita. That's my car crashes. Glita. And then every time, right, if I see a black helicopter, I immediately, and this happens every time, I switch into mode, and I'm ready to just go.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to just first thing I'm doing, break into a freaking Lowe's. Clink, start grabbing weapons, even though there's guns still exist. Start grabbing freaking axes and stuff. So point is being a bigger gentleman, I was getting pretty heavy there. I couldn't run, and I was getting to that point where I'm like, dude, if a zombie apocalypse happened, what's the one rule from Zombieland? Be able to run, be limber, have some cardio.
Yeah,
I'd have been
cardio. Yeah.
And people depend on me, so I can't. I had to lose some weight because so I didn't mean to continue on this, but I just thought about it. So I had so I was with the 2 Logans. I was with Moses and then my buddy Logan Wallace. Mm-hmm. We were at the bar and I was like, "Can you guys pick me up?" They couldn't even get me off the ground, bro. I mean, they couldn't lift me at all. Damn. Like fireman carry, they couldn't even get me up. Like Logan literally he texted me the other day, or he called me like 2 days ago, and he goes, "Dude, I hope you know, like I injured my back trying to pick you up. Like he's actually hurt from trying to pick me up." And I was like, he's like, "Do you think Zach could pick me up?" I was like, 100%, Zach could carry me.
Yeah, I've picked you up before.
Yeah, I was like, he could carry me a while if needed. And he's like, "I just didn't expect you to be that heavy." And I was like, that's a you problem. You can't. But
yeah, I'm surprisingly sturdy.
You were very sturdy, and I applaud you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did grow up in sports and stuff, so that helps. But
it was.
I come from my side of the family is a bunch of sturdy folk. But
he was really surprised because he was like, "You think Zach could pick you up and I can't?" And I was like, 100%. I think Zach could pick me up and you can't. I was like, he would, yeah. And he was like, that's kind of alarming. He's like, that's not. And I was like, well, man, you got to get sturdy, dude.
Yeah. You
got to, if that's the thing, right? Like if you're in a situation where, and I'll say it from both sides. So if you're in the situation like I am, where if something happens to you, no one can save you, or if like something happens, like if a fire happened, you guys would have to leave me. They would have to leave me to save themselves.
Yeah, because if he can't lift you up, he probably can't even drag you.
That's what they said. They were like, oh, well, I could drag you. I'm like, no, you can't. Do you understand how... You don't understand how muscle works, do you? If you can't lift somebody, you can't drag it. If you can't lift 100 pounds, you can't drag 100 pounds.
Dude, I just got my little kitten shots yesterday, and they had at the pet hospital, they had a 1 pound diagram of fat.
Yeah.
Bro, it's bigger than this water bottle.
Yeah.
1 pound of fat is bigger than a water bottle.
And you know what's interesting is...
I'm like, where's that on our bodies? Like, how does that...
Yeah.
How is that even like... What does that even mean? It doesn't look like it, but like we're covered in like fat and muscle, but like
what it is
it like
it's
compressed?
Density.
It's compressed or something?
Compressed density fat. So
I'm like, whoa,
so
that's
like,
kind of weird looking.
A lot of
huge, dude.
Yeah.
A
lot of fat can
I was just like, what the hell?
Well, it's a different kind of consistency. So you can create like muscle, it's like stringy. Mm-hmm. Fat's like spongy.
Because of the tendons and stuff?
Yeah, fat is spongy. So
you
can take a big ass sponge and turn it into a ball.
It looks like a giant sponge.
Yeah, that's how fat is.
Huh. Yeah, I was looking at that.
That's also why they say like, certain things get stored in your fat cells. That's how, because it's like a big sponge. So if you're sitting there eating a lot of bullshit, then your fat gets bigger because it's absorbing all
sugar
these
turns into fat.
Exactly.
Stuff, yeah.
So it's absorbing all these things. Like I don't have a lot of fat index on my body. Like I'm a lot of muscle, obviously, like I have like, I'm a dense dude. I'm like 250 pounds, but I don't look 250 pounds, right? Like somebody who's 250 pounds of no muscle is,
front
they
booty.
got a front belly, right? Yeah. I got just like these tiny little things right here, and I have a lot of density fat that's just stored and stuffed,
Yeah.
Which is, that's why they say like muscle weighs more than fat.
I've always heard that too.
Because muscle is a more compact thing. Okay. Welcome to Hunchback Insomniac, episode 29.
29. Round two of 29.
Round 2 of 29.
Technical difficulty.
I was using my laptop, which is like 14 years old, and Zach very generously donated a nice computer that he is not using to the studio room. So let's all applaud him for that.
Yay.
Thank you, Zach. So now we're able to shoot.
I finally did something for the pod.
Yeah, we're not just we're not just able to shoot just fresh and clean pods and as many as possible, because we're going to start pumping out a lot more since I have this thing. But he also gave me the ability to make music again. So
that's pretty dope.
I've been making dubstep again. I'm going to show you something I've been working on.
Oh yeah.
After the pod, I'll bust it out and show you.
Dude, I can't wait till we get to the point where we're like, we can just like, you say that and then we can just like fucking pull it up really quick and then like have people listen to it on the pod.
On the pod?
Yeah, because there's like, dude, we all listen. I'm sure we all, if you guys are listening to this, guaranteed, like most likely this isn't the only podcast you listen to.
I can do it right now. Nothing is done.
I know
with podcasts, nothing is done live. Nothing. So you think that,
dude, if people do live streams, like,
you think that it's like that, but it's not. It's nothing. Nothing is done live. So for instance, like right now, if we had our guy Logan right here, if Logan was right here, he would be able to close down this thing
pull
right
up
now.
OBS would be open.
Well, no, he would just be able to pull up my Ableton.
Yeah,
and we would hear it, but they wouldn't be able to hear it. So what we would do is we'd pull OBS up, screen record it, and then after production, we would add in what we're listening to. So right now, if we were like,
what about
I'll
when
show
people
you
do live pods and stuff in their show?
No one does live pods.
Some people do though. I'm just saying the ones I've listened to a couple.
I think a lot of the time what it is like they'll run because everything's done with a camera, and then the camera has to be taken and the audio and the camera have to be matched and synced together in every pod. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So I guess what you could do is like if the input was coming from our box, I don't really know how they would do. I don't think.
I'm just saying. I know that they're the ones that I listen to. They're like doing a live podcast, like it's streaming live, and then they're pulling up videos and stuff for people to watch.
I guess it might just be
watching
OBS.
it live.
I think it might be OBS.
Yeah, because you're just streaming your screen.
Yeah, I guess we could do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
honestly,
we just don't have like the setup yet.
Well, no, we
like,
could use. I could. I guess honestly,
we could, but
because the only reason we do this is because we weren't able to connect the OBS with the camera and do like the capture thing. True. So I guess what we could do is we could just do OBS audio from OBS with our mics, and we could do screen cap. Oh my gosh, we could do that. Whoa, you just blew my mind. You just blew my mind. Wait a second. You just blew my mind. We could, dude. We could. Because we could just start using OBS to record audio in the same format. So the way OBS works is, sorry guys, I know this is completely so boring for you guys to listen
after
to.
This.
Yeah, we're gonna get into conspiracies. We're gonna get into all that in just 1 second. I just, we're figuring things out. So OBS has this thing where you can capture audio. And by the way, if anybody is listening to this and you do produce podcasts or you can help us, go ahead and comment. Let us know. Let us know what we can do to make this easier.
Yeah.
So with that, you could do audio from the mics input, audio from the screen capture, and record the screen all at the same time with OBS, and it all becomes one video.
Yeah.
And then you take that, turn that into what is it called? DaVinci or whatever we use, Resolve. Whatever I use to Resolve. Well, I'm going to start using CapCut probably.
Nice.
Yeah, because I pay for CapCut Pro and CapCut can go on the computer. You can download it. So I'll probably start using CapCut.
Hell yeah.
But point is we can probably do that. We'll start. You know what? I think let's try that next.
Give it a go.
We'll try that next pod. So episode 31 but we need somebody to come in here and help us.
Yeah.
We'll need a producer.
Yeah.
So
I think we know a couple producers.
I mean,
we could just go to like a thread online where
I just say we just go Logan.
Yeah.
Because I already talked to Logan about it. I told him before we do it again, because he's down to do it, I was like, we need to sit you down and kind of explain how we want the pod to be done. We don't want to constantly just ask you to look things up. We want you to have it looked up while we're talking about it. You know what I mean?
And he was already the couple that we did with him. He was already doing pretty good.
He does.
I think
great.
the problem was we were too invested in he was doing, and I mean, at least for me, this is me speaking. That I was like kind of like, I guess distracted in a sense because I was like just like oh, what is he doing? Like, you know, kind of thing. But I think at this point, I think would just keep it going, and then he can just do his thing while we're doing our thing, and then once we're ready, we could be like, oh shit, he pulled that up. And
and then be like, oh, hey, and start looking it up. Okay, let's get into some conspiracies. Let's actually do something interesting for the people, because we were just talking about just podcast stuff. Some dude's trying to make a podcast right now. Listen to this, like, he's writing it down, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna stop talking about interesting things. He's like, no. This is
someone's trying to figure out how to run a podcast,
and we're giving them like actual information that they don't normally get from people.
Dude, I only watch you guys to see how to start a podcast.
What the fuck? You guys are actually talking. I've been waiting for you guys to talk about this.
I've been in philosophy class for 10 years. I'm a Harvard grad philosophy student.
Yeah, and I don't know how to do a pod. Okay. Yeah, so you have this this conspiracy.
I haven't heard anyone else talk about it, so I want to say it's original.
Let's get
down.
But
I was watching the movie Kingpin. Shout out to anyone who knows what that movie is. Okay. You've heard about it? I've
heard about Kingpin.
Woody Harrelson, Bill Murray. It's a bowling movie, right?
Yeah.
So within the first 10 minutes, I want to say, into the movie, Bill Murray character says, and I believe it's a bowling term, but like a 6'7". He just says 6'7", and then immediately after that, he's like, "Yeah, it's kind of like the devil on your shoulder." And I had a brain blast, right? Because I was like, "Okay, what was that?" And then I was reminded about like a couple days before that, I was talking to my cousin Johnny. Shout out Johnny if you watch this. He was just kind of like talking, and he was like, "Oh, I just realized something. You guys know like the 6'7" stuff, and if you guys are tired of hearing about it, we all are tired of hearing about it too. It's crazy how that kind of stuff gets into the culture." Mm-hmm. But he was saying that like God created Earth in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested.
Yeah.
So I had that in my mind after Bill Murray said that, and I was like, okay, hold on a second. People are going like this, like they don't know what to pick, like a 6 or a 7, like they're undecisive. And in my head, I was like, oh, 6 is the number of the beast, and then 7 is the number of God.
Yeah.
So people don't know if they want to go with God or 7. And that's kind of what's going on in our culture right now, is that at least I believe in the last, like, because I've been into conspiracy since I was like 17. So
6 or 17.
yeah. No, it's been a long, I mean, since I was a kid, I've always, my dad would talk about how 9/11 was fake and stuff when I was like a little kid.
All of our dads, yeah.
So I've always known about conspiracies, but in my head, I was like, okay, that's interesting because people right nowadays, even like obviously Joe Rogan's a big one. He just went from an atheist to believing in God, like overnight almost. Like within one podcast, he was like convinced.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a long journey, a long buildup, but I'm noticing, at least maybe it's just what I'm into, but I think overall, if you look at like the culture right now, we're kind of like in this, like, I guess you could say like paradigm shift where it's heading more towards spirituality and people are more interested in that than ever before.
Well, you say paradigm shift, but it's not even a paradigm shift. It's a shift of so it's not even about people are like changing to it now,
because it's always been like that. People have always,
it's
like,
always
since
like,
the beginning of time, people have always been looking for.
It's what we've talked about before on the pod, where because internet in phones in everything's on camera, right? Because of this, now you're able, so growing up, right, when people would see Christianity, what turned them off is like the Joel Osteens, the people who are just like money this, money that, driving a private jet and and doing all these crazy things, right, and having all this money and being like hellfire and brimstone. Like the hellfire and brimstone thing was something that people created. That it doesn't really say in the Bible. It does say like hell is a fiery place, but in the Bible it really just says hell is the absence of God, right? So growing up, people would always do this hellfire thing and talk about this, right? And now, because phones and internet is such a thing, we're no longer, that's not the only ability you have to see God, or that's not the only, but now you can see that truly people will talk about what being a Christian is and what God is. It is not just about like, if you don't go with God, you're going to go to hell. No, it's your whole life. So this, what you see now is your whole life is a journey with God. It's not about like, okay, if I make one decision, I do this, and no. It's, you will make a million bad decisions. You will always make a wrong decision. You are not perfect. You are not. Now that regular kids can see that, now regular adults can see that on social media. There's a lot of these guys. Like I watched the 2019 church. I don't know if you know, that's the guy who's like, break your flesh, right? When you truly can see what being a Christian is, it's not about just like, spirituality or manifestation or all that. No, it's God is there for you. He sent his only begotten son on the earth to die for your sins, and you're not perfect. You're going to sin, but because you're going to sin, you have Jesus who died on the cross for you, who's going to constantly forgive you, at all times forgive you, and you got to try your hardest not to sin. You will never not sin. You'll never not lie. You'll never not get angry at things. Yeah. I know preachers who get angry. But the whole point is you got to keep it in the back of your mind that Jesus is there for you to do better. That's the whole thing, right? Like before you make the bad decision, you get the Holy Ghost that comes and it convicts you of doing the bad thing, right? Yep. Like I constantly gossip. We gossip all the time. But we get the Holy Spirit in our mind that's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing this, right? Yep. So I think that's why there's a paradigm shift, or that's why there's the shift of the consciousness of what being a godly person is, or what loving God is. And I think that makes sense with the whole 6-7 thing. It's like you have kids nowadays, right, that grow up, like we all grow up, I don't want to get too into this, but like we grew up addicted to porn, right? We grew up addicted to fighting, right? We all like fought in high school. We all fought where we are addicted to doing things that weren't good. We were addicted to the phone and to the gluttony and to the the money, but now you got to that point where now you cannot grow up not knowing Jesus. You can't. Anywhere you see online or on your phone, kids nowadays, there is going to be Jesus. The Angel Studios makes these cartoons now for kids, like the David, the new cartoon that's in the movie theaters. There is a way that you can take your kid. You don't need to take your kid to Sunday school anymore. You don't need to take your kid to a church where you feel like, maybe you might ask for money or something, because Jesus does say in the Bible that after when he came back for the 40 days, he said to them, listen, from you disciples, there will be children's, and there will be men, and there will be women, there will be daughters, and there will be sons that come from you that do not say my words correctly. There will be sons and daughters that are bred from you that will not do what's right in the name of Jesus. They will cast, demons into people, and they will do the things that I told them not to do. It says that. It literally talks about the fact that there will be false prophets, right? Mm-hmm. So church is full of false prophets. There's been a government. There's been a poison in the water of a lot of these churches. There has been. Look at the Catholic thing with the pedophiles and. Yeah. It turns people off from church. But now, because we are the time we are in, we are getting close to the end. You cannot deny Jesus anymore. You cannot sit there and say, well, I don't go to church. So no. You have church everywhere, baby. You have apps on your phone that is a Bible. You can sit there and you can lock your door, turn your lights off, and read the Bible in your own house, in your own phone, and you have a prayer closet. You do not need to you go to church. It is good to go to church. Learn the community of church. But you do not need to go to these places to be a godly person, to know the story of Jesus and to love Jesus. You don't have to do that anymore. Yeah. And I feel like it's always been that way, where you could always have a Bible. There's Bibles in hotel rooms, but now it's got that point where it is 6, 7. You better make your choice. You better make your choice. Do you want to be a godly person, or do you not want to be a godly person? Kids can no longer say, well, I didn't know about you. No. You know about Jesus at all times. It's not just like story of Noah and the ark when you're a kid. Right. Like when we grew up, it was like Sunday school. We drew little paintings and all this. We didn't really know Jesus. Yeah. Not anymore. Now you have TikTok
it was like
pages.
VeggieTales, Noah's Ark, Prince of Egypt.
You don't have that no more. No. Now it's Jesus, Like kids don't even know what the princes of Egypt are. They don't even know about Moses, because the Old Testament is one thing that we grew up knowing, because we were supposed to transfer that knowledge onto the kids nowadays that know about Jesus, that know about the cross. That's what it is. How many cross things do you see now? How many cross workout shirts do you see? How many cross necklaces do you see? People don't truly know the cross. They don't know what that means. They don't know about bearing your cross. How many kids have really watched Passion of the Christ? How many people have actually watched the struggle that Jesus went through with the cross to die on the cross for your sins? A lot of people don't know this. So I feel like that whole theory you got makes a million amount of sense, dude.
Yeah. No, and I think there was another thing that I said, no, pretty much that the memes get into society, but something like this, that things that break into society and become commercials and famous people are saying it, that's how you know there's something to it. The fact that it like broke through, it's not just like a meme on Instagram or something. It's like literally famous people are saying. I just saw the other day Adam Sandler said it. So it's like, dude, it's in culture
there's
now.
Something.
It's broke through. Like it's not just like I don't know if you know what Skibbity Toilet is, but it's just like it's not like that. Which that's on Fortnite now, which is weird. But it's just like 6, 7 will probably be on Fortnite. You know what I mean? Like
I'm telling
it's just,
you, dude.
But I don't know. I just wanted to say that, and that the movie Kingpin, they say it 3 times in the movie. I forgot the second time, but towards the end, one of the female character, I forgot her name in the movie, but she says, you don't want to have like 6 or 7 kids or something like that. But it's like they say it 3 times in that movie. So I'm like, this thing's been around forever. If it's in that movie, I'm like, it's not just some rapper rapped about it or something like. Well, no, dude, it's 6, 7's been around forever.
And I was talking about this conspiracy you had because you called me about it the other day. Yeah, and I brought it up at work. Yeah, and I was also like, it's pretty weird. This 6, 7. What's 6 plus 7? 6 plus 7 is 13.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. 13 colonies. 13.
America
started 13 colonies.
And 13, 12 disciples and 1 Jesus. There's the 13. There's always 13.
Interesting.
It's an important number. It really is. It's not important. It might be a bad number, but there's a lot of.
I think things like that. I think if you give it power, right? Isn't that kind of how those work? Or like if you like acknowledge that it's like that, and then you let it kind of like into your body, I guess. But if you're like not. I try to think that, I don't know. But I also think, I don't know, like the numerology thing with Christianity is really like iffy, because it doesn't say anything about numerology, but it does based off of numbers, right?
No, that's gematria. So we've talked about gematria before.
Like like for instance, I think Aleph means God in Hebrew, right? Or something like that, which is also the first
number one or
number one.
Yeah.
So like, and then each letter has a number associated. And, and then if you add up what that is, Aleph or whatever, I think it means love or something.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
So
I think
like,
there's,
but that's not gematria. Gematria is different.
Well, gematria is, yes, it is. It's putting each, so in Hebrew, the way sentences start with like the same word a lot of the time. So that's why when they translated the Bible from Hebrew, it was hard to like translate it. That's why they have a lot of these and thys and those, because they had to pretty much put those in where they felt that it was right to do. But gematria was the idea that every single Hebrew word had a number associated with it. So when you put certain numbers together, like, 777, 444, like 444 means Jesus, like it actually means Jesus, and like stuff like that, So I guess numerology is a weird one, right? I think what it is you know what? Just like with everything, just like with the churches, just like with everything, somebody is always going to take something that's from the Bible or take something that's godly and make it
turn it upside down. Just, and they're going to turn it into something that it's not. Just like the upside down cross, upside down cross was because that's the way Peter wanted to be crucified, because he wasn't the same as Jesus. He was like, no, do not crucify me the same as Jesus. And then people use that as like a satanic thing. And it's like, people are always going to do that. They're always going to take something that is holy or take something that is good and reverse it and make it into something that's not. Invert it. Exactly. And I feel like that's the idea. Well, Joe Rogan did say something though that kind of made me uncomfortable. He's like, what if he's like, why can't Jesus come back as AI? Yeah, he said that. And I was like, oh. See, I was talking to my same cousin Johnny, like literally yesterday.
Shout out Johnny.
Shout out Johnny.
What's up, Johnny?
And he actually didn't even know that. He was like, "Wait, Joe Rogan's a Christian now," and I caught myself. I was like, "Hold on a second, is he though, or is he just latching on to something because he knows that, like everyone else, he has to make a decision, so he's doing it to kind of blend in almost." But I'm like a little 50-50 on that. I feel like in his heart he has good intentions, but maybe not.
No.
What if he's doing it just to latch on and be like a, how people latch on to football teams that are doing good?
Yeah.
He's just latching on because he knows that God's king and is going to win in the end.
You know what I think it is?
What?
I think that Joe has always cared about facts growing up, right?
Yeah,
he's always been a big fact guy.
Yeah.
He's always like, if this is happening or like, it's a logical based thing, right?
Yeah.
When somebody who has true facts about the Lord, right, like Jesus, like Wes Huff, right?
Like
when Wes Huff went on to his pod,
I feel like was part of that convincing him.
I think that Joe can't deny Jesus anymore, right? Like because there's something that Wes Huff said that Joe Rogan constantly talks about now, right? Wes Huff said, atheists believe in one miracle. Atheists believe in the fact that the universe, the whole universe, me and you sitting here, this guitar right there, our water that we're drinking, our perfect bodies that were made perfectly somehow, that, the way that we all grow the same and our DNA, the way our DNA works. He says that, like, atheists believe in one miracle, that the whole universe was created from nothing, from a snap, right? But they can't believe in the miracle that Jesus is the Son of God and was raised 3 days after death, right?
Yeah.
So what's that? So you can believe in that miracle, but you can't believe in this miracle, and that's why Joe believes in Jesus. He doesn't believe in Jesus he believes in Jesus because of that. He thinks that the fact that they deny that one miracle is impossible, and he just talked about this the other day. So I was watching this pod about the guy who he's a Egyptian historian, right? So he's like this guy who's like figuring out the pyramids and all this, and he was talking about the pyramids. And Joe goes, well, isn't that what it in the Bible? Isn't it? Doesn't it say something about that in the Bible? And it's not about. See, he's reading, bro. He's reading the Bible and he's reading the words that it truly says. Because we've talked about this before. I've talked about this on the pod. If you've watched the pod for a while, I've talked about this. Anybody who denies the Bible, anybody who denies God, anybody who truly says that this is blah, 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 this is fake, and they have not read the Bible. Go and find me somebody who denies the Bible, who's truly sat down and read it in a Bible study or actually studied the Bible. They have not. They've read a couple of passages, or they'll read the Old Testament, or they'll read this and they'll read that. They've never truly actually sat there and read the words of Jesus Christ, read the Sermon on the Mount, actually talked about, with their buddies, like, well, what did he mean by this? Or what did he mean by that? And they've never actually done that. And that's the thing, is because when somebody does that, they realize what the Bible truly is. They realize that it's the best therapy you can find. It's the best chain breaker. It's the best rehab. If you read the Bible and you truly read what Jesus talks about, it is the best thing for your soul to do. There's nothing else that you can tell me that is better than that. If you and if you think that nature will get you there, if you think you are so mistaken, because you're just believing in the miracle that nature was created from nothing. No. You got to realize that you're here for a reason. You're breathing for a reason, and God wants to do something with your life, right? I know there's somebody who's probably watching this pod. We're going to get a view from somebody right now, and this is just coming to me. We're going to get a view from somebody right now who's going through that journey of manifestation and going through that journey of believing that God is just the universe. No. There is somebody who has a plan for your life. There is somebody who sat there and saw you in the future and knows that you can do something for the world, for the universe, for yourself. All right. It's not about nature, or God isn't some, no. It's there's multiple lower G gods. He is the ultimate king of the universe, the God of gods, the God of planning, the God of rehabilitation. You know what I mean? That there's a plan for you, right? We're all created equal, and we all are created with a plan to make life better. There's nobody out there, no matter what you've done bad, no matter what you've done. There's a reason why God took his only begotten son, put him on the earth to die for the things that you've done wrong. There's a reason why, dude.
And it's not for us to know or understand.
We are there to know and understand. That's why we have the book,
for
baby.
like that person.
Oh, for that person.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we don't know what your plan is.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen.
When you know.
You know.
It's like an unexplained feeling, or like
it's almost like
sense of like relief. Or
it's almost like two dudes who randomly start comedy together.
Yeah.
And randomly
3 months
don't
into
know
comedy, and it's like
doesn't know each other at all. Met each other at an open mic, and
but
now
it feels like we've known each other forever.
Yeah, well, now we have a pod.
When I first met you, I was like, well, haven't I met this guy before?
This is how God works. Is you're like
Well, even when I first saw you, I'm
two
like,
different
wait.
states, bro. Never known each other. Never even grew up around each other. Would never know each other at all. We decided to start comedy. We meet at a bar, and now we're sitting here talking to a camera about Jesus and God, and we're sitting here and confessing the holiness of our Lord, and we are giving that to people, and we are telling you to go and read your Bible. That's how God works. Is you just listen.
Well, what's crazy to me, I don't think I've said this before, but I don't really care. I'll say it again. But when we actually first met, I was like kind of just, I think I was like either the next day or something, or the day after. I'm like, this is like one of those things where like it only happens a couple times in your lifetime, where it's like you truly feel like almost like an epiphany or deja vu kind of feeling, but different, where like, I just feel like I've met you before. Like, did I see you at a mic before? I'm like, no, this is the first time I've ever seen him do comedy.
Yeah.
First time I met him, but it felt like I've seen you do comedy before.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wait, no, I haven't even seen you do comedy yet. Like the first time, but it felt like I've seen you do comedy before or something.
As well, it's almost like
it was weird, bro. It was weird.
You know why? I'll tell you why. And this is just my theory. This is just the theory that I have. We are all in the body of Christ. Whenever you profess yourself into Christ, and if you were young and your parents got you baptized,
I didn't even know you believe in God when I first met you.
Exactly, right?
Didn't even know.
So we all became the body of Jesus. Jesus is somebody who is at the right hand of God, who is all knowing, right? If he is God and he has the power of God, then he is all knowing. Us being a part of Jesus gives us this is almost borderline that manifestation. You could do anything, you have God inside of you type vibe, but it's not, because it's credit to Jesus. It has nothing to do with us. The fact, because you can't do it if you don't believe in Jesus, right? You can't. we are a part of Jesus, which means that we are in the same body of him, right? So if he knows everything and he is all knowing, then you are truly all knowing and you know everything. But you have to be in the body of Jesus. You have to have the right core, like the right brain waves to be in that thing. You can't just be like, oh, well, I'm God and I can do. No. The fact that you know somebody and you felt like you've known them forever is because you are in the body of Jesus and you have seen the future without knowing you've seen the future. That's like intuition, right? The Holy Spirit, like intuition. When you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go this way, right? Yeah. Oh, can I tell you a story? So on my way to the mic on Friday, right?
Cheers.
To Cheers.
Shout out Cheers.
Shout out Cheers. I was on the way to the mic and I put on my YouTube to put some music on, and the church we go to, it was having a live stream, right? Because they were doing a Friday night thing. It was like the young adults Friday night. Shout out. Actually, I'm not going to tell you guys my church, just in case. So we were going, and I was on my way there, and I was listening to the live, and something told me, get off the freeway on Northern Ave and go to church. Do not go to the mic tonight. Don't go and practice comedy. Just go to church. You need to go to church, right? I didn't listen. Okay. And this is me confessing that. And this is my testimony why you always listen to the voice inside. You always listen to God. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go to church. I'm going to go practice comedy. Right. I got there at Cheers. The worst set of my life, made myself look like a fool. Hurt my knee in the back because I accidentally tripped and hurt my knee real bad. On my way home, my tire blew out on the highway, and I was on the side of the highway changing my tire by myself. Now, no matter what, I know it's not that bad, but it felt like a warning to me that this is just the cusp. This is just a piece of how bad things can actually go for you if you don't listen to your God. If you don't listen to the Holy Spirit that runs between all of us, if you don't listen to what you're supposed to do and you make those kind of decisions, this is the piece of what can truly happen to you. If I would have just gone to church, then I would have came back, would have had a good church service, wouldn't have hurt my knee, my tire probably wouldn't have popped on the freeway. And then,
because you drove further.
It drove further. It probably would have just flattened on me because it already had a hole in it. It probably would have just flattened on me and I would have got it changed in the morning. But because I didn't listen, look what happened right now. And my God is good and I wasn't injured and I was perfectly fine. But it was a real thing where it was like, listen, man, you had a bad time. You had a bad night. You didn't do good. Right? Like just in the whole night, not comedy, but just you didn't do good. This was a bad night for you. And I tried to stop it. Right? God doesn't always tell you to do something because something good is going to happen. He might tell you to do something because he knows something bad is going to happen. Right? So everybody thinks that when God tells you to do something, it was for a reason. Like if God told me to go to that church service, I might have just gone to the church service. It wouldn't have been super informative and I wouldn't have had all these moments happen, or I wouldn't be doing this, or, maybe I just went to that church and I didn't even understand the sermon very well.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about what could have happened. It was about what could not have happened. And I wouldn't have had all those things happen and I would have just went to church.
Yeah. But it's almost like God's like a double-edged sword in a way. Cause I just thought of this. I'm like, no matter what you would have done by just like strictly having faith and like believing in God, your faith grows stronger no matter what. Cause you could have went to church, had a great time at church, pretty good. But then your tire would have popped and you were like, well, I went to church and I'm like, or something. But it's like, if the fact that you decided to not listen to your intuition, that just grew your strength, your faith for God even more.
It grew my faith. Yeah.
Even more. It's like that thing that you talk about where like, no matter what you do, like Christianity in like whatever century, they're in the tunnels and like they're underground. Yes. But then what happens now, the Bible's all around the world because of it.
So no matter
it's
what,
like it's almost like a miniature version of that. It's like
no matter what bad happens, God will come out in the end. And that, I guess you're right. So now
but that's because of your own personal faith. If
I did make that decision, I was on my phone with my wife and I told her, I was like, I'll never I'll never not listen to that ever again. So I guess you're right. So you have a good point there,
like
and I appreciate
sword,
that.
kinda, right?
It's like a double-edged sword. It's you'll never. So even though I didn't listen, he still was like, look, you didn't listen, but I got you home safe, and
Right.
now you understand that intuition is a true thing. Let me. I don't know who this is, but I feel like I need to answer it. Give me one second.
Good.
Hello. Hey, what's going on? Nice. Yeah, I walked by and in the one guy he had me sign up. You're actually on the podcast right now. You want to say hi to the podcast? No, we're on a podcast. I answered the phone. Yeah, we're doing a podcast right now. You want to say hi? Say hi to the pod.
Hey, y'all, this is Ben. I'm a head coach 10 years, pro boxer, and trying to get this guy to come in and do some real boxing work with me.
So
wow.
I don't want to take too much of your time, but as a head box coach, right? Like as somebody who's been through, what's like one piece of life advice you could give the podcast right now that would help our listeners? We do a lot of God work on here. We talk about a lot of holy things. Give me some piece of advice right now that you would think.
Honestly, yeah. I love the opportunity. Thank you for letting me say this. I would say, you know what? Whether you want to be a fighter or not, if you're into it, you're competing, you're just there for fitness. The number one thing is just be consistent. You're going to outwork the guy with skill, the guy with all that natural talent, just by working hard every day. The guy with natural talent, he comes in 2 times a day, compared to the guy who just works hard 5-6 days of the week. You're gonna be on top in no time. Promise.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. Hey, I will do. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Bye. Yeah. I don't know. That was a random thing that just happened, but that was good advice.
Dude, I had something kind of random happen to me.
I just want to say real quick, that's good advice for anybody who's doing comedy, or even what we were talking about with wanting to follow Jesus.
Yeah.
You might not be as holy as somebody else. You might not feel like you know all the verses. You might not feel like you do all the things that a Christian is supposed to do. But hard work and continuing to be like, you might trip and fall so many times. A holy man will fall 7 times before he really makes his move towards Christ. You might not be the best, but consistency every day, praying when you wake up, praying before you eat, fasting when you can, loving thy neighbor, loving your brother, forgiving people, turning your cheek, these things, you do these things every day that might not be the most as somebody else who knows every verse but you will make it to the pearly gates by trying. Jesus was a human. He knows how hard it is, especially nowadays. He knows the temptations you have on your phone. He knows the temptation you have every day. He knows how angry you get when you're in your car. I'm speaking to myself right now. He knows these things, but because you just try every day, he appreciates that. So go ahead and say what you're going to say.
So, dude, it's, I wouldn't say it's a God thing or anything. I would just say, maybe it is. I don't want to be in my own head about it or be egotistical about it, but kind of feels like one in a way.
Remember what Nana said, my grandma. Shout out to Nana.
Yeah.
Remember what she said?
What?
God will never, he will always want you to credit everything to him.
Okay.
So if you sit there and say, I don't want to be egotistical, no. It's all a God thing.
Because I want to say it is.
It's all a God thing. Yeah, that's just you being holy, man.
So, dude,
it's always
I was
a God thing.
Getting a vape, right? Yeah. Sitting in my car, and this guy pulls up next to me, right? And he's like, "Hey, you got a level in your car? You do construction?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You guys hiring?" And I'm like, "No, man, we're not hiring." He's like, "Oh, I just moved here from Kansas City, and I've been struggling to find good people to help me work and do these side jobs. I'm trying to get my business running and stuff. I've been working by myself, and I have this one guy that helps me, and he's like, maybe you could help me." He's like, "I got this shower that I'm trying to do, a tile shower." And he's like explaining it to me. He's like, "I'll pay you, and I'm like, hey man, I would love to. I just, only problem is I can only work on weekends because I have my day job, you know, so I can help you out on the weekends. He's like, all right, take my number, you know, and like, and also I got this big job at a church, doing a whole remodel at a church.
Wow.
And I was just, dude, I just got like chills right away. I'm like, whoa, you know, like that, the odds of that I mean, it's coincidence, but at the same time, I'm like, that's like literally God talking to me, because I haven't been going to church a lot. And I'm like, I need to go to church, and like, I might be working at one. If it does work out, I'll be remodeling a church, bro, on the side on the weekends.
Way.
But he did reach out last night. He didn't reach back out, so I'm still kind of like, I think it's legit, but at the same time, you know, like, you know how people will say stuff and they get all excited, but not giving my hopes up yet. I think that, you know, I think the guy is actually probably struggling to get jobs and stuff, so he'd probably, maybe the lady didn't say we could work this weekend, but he said we're going to be using my tool to cut the tile because he needs a tool, and then I'm going to have to pick up the blade for it, but we're going to do a tile shower this weekend for this lady if it works out. And he said he'd, you know, pay me pretty good, honestly, for a day and a half worth of work. But I was like, the fact that he said he has a whole church that needs to be remodeled and needs help with that, I was just like, interesting.
It's one of those things,
Very
dude.
interesting.
It's one of those things.
And then he called me.
Cool
He did call me last night.
Yeah, it went towards you. Like, you know, that
That's
opportunity came to you.
I
That's a
know.
God thing, bro.
Yeah.
Of course it is,
Yeah.
dude. Of course it is.
You know, shout out my cousin Dylan, but he's like, I just wouldn't trust guys like that. I'm like, nah, you just don't have the Holy Spirit running through your bones,
Yeah, you're
bro.
like,
it's called faith, and like,
exactly.
You know, like, just have, even if it doesn't work out, like the fact that someone random that I don't even know felt the need to stop. He was walking into the store and then like had something in his head where he's like, you know what? Wait.
Yes.
He like came out to talk to me
Change the
just
hearts
to
of
tell
men.
me that.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was on my way to work and I barely made it to work on time because I had to stop and get a vape, and then that happened.
Wow. Yeah.
In
That's those
somewhere
things, man.
I've never even been before, a vape store. I've never even been before. Yeah.
See how that happens.
That was weird.
Wow. There you go. I think we're
know.
gonna
Interesting.
I think we're gonna end on that. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Not particularly. I just wanted to give my little 2 cents on this whole 6'7" thing, because that came to me and I was like, kind of thought that was weird, you know?
Yeah, if I hear somebody,
But
this
now-
is, we just talked about God and all this, but I do want to say I've been doing this joke about if I hear somebody say 6'7" one more time, I'm going to hit them 6 or 7 times in the face.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I've been running that.
Same.
How's comedy? You working on jokes and stuff?
Yeah, dude, I did one of my old jokes, one of my first jokes that I had early success with, like my first like 8 months into comedy. I came up like this vampire character that I do. You've seen it before, but no, I realized that no one else has seen me do that joke. So I did it at Bridget's, and then I did it again.
Not a lot of people have seen you do that joke.
I did it again at Stir Crazy, bro, and it was, I'm not gonna lie, it went very well.
Yeah.
It went very well. I did 3 minutes of just that character.
There you go.
And I did one joke at the end that's super, I'll tell you after the pod ends, the joke. I did one joke at the beginning that was something that I've been doing at the beginning, nonsensical joke. I just rub random things and say, I don't know. And I ran my finger up on the brick wall like I was following the grout lines.
Yeah.
And then I did a callback in the middle of my set doing the brick line thing. Where I didn't even say anything. I just ran my finger up through the brick line and it got laughs because I did like a callback to my original joke.
There you go.
And then I did a normal joke at the end. But yeah, no, I've been trying to go out more. At least my goal is just to go out more than once a week. I'm trying to take it easy on myself, but as long as I'm going out more than once a week, and then going to build from that. Eventually I want to be back to where I was at, where I'm going 3 nights a week and doing like 5 mics, multiple sets a night. And when I do go out once a week, I try to do 2. So it's kind of makes up for it, but
yeah, no, you're doing good. We're on a good trajectory.
Got a lot of good feedback from that joke though. Like everyone that's seen me do it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're like that's hilarious or interesting."
Yeah,
and they're like, "Keep doing that." I'm like,
you were doing really well with that kind of stuff. I say make a couple more characters because back when you were doing like dude, when you did that one thing, the poker dealer one. Oh yeah, you did like this whole poker dealer guy, magician poker dealer type thing. My favorite thing you've ever done.
Yeah, even you were there that night too.
Dude, when you dressed up as the injured guy too.
Oh yeah,
I'm telling you, no, you're onto something. Because I was just watching, Timmy No Breaks. I was just watching Timmy No Breaks.
He's blowing up right now.
I was just listening to Timmy No Breaks and Adam Ray. And Adam Ray was talking about how like, he's like, a lot of people just want to do this character thing because we're doing it and blah, blah, blah. And then and he's like, but people who truly start doing the character thing and they just keep going with it.
Been doing that my whole life though.
These characters. Dude, I'm telling you, he said there's something to those kind of people and you're on to something there. Dude, you did this one character where you like wrapped your head up and you were like injured and had a crutch. Yeah. Dude, funniest, probably one of the most I've ever laughed.
I did like that one. That was funny.
So that's what I'm saying. I have
been wanting to do that one too.
Dude, you don't stop these characters.
Well,
this is what I need you to do. This is
what I need you to do. Mixed with the vampire.
This is what I need you to do. I need you to go home. I need you to leave my house right now. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I need you to write down on your phone in your notes or on a piece of paper characters and just list out all your characters.
Yeah.
And don't almost throw them out. Don't stop. Don't like, if you see one character, don't not do that character. Keep doing all your characters. I think you do really well. The injured guy, make a name for him. The vampire, Caldusius. You already have Caldusius. Yep. And then just keep doing
this poker guy. Name myself Slot McFinnigan. Very good characters. You have something there, dude. I'm telling you, you do. I love it. There's something about it where I don't even write, bro. I just do improv.
Yeah,
that's what's weird about it.
Yeah, well, what you'll do is you'll create
after. But
you'll create just like certain things you say every time.
True. Yeah. No, I do write, but then
like
after
the injured guy, you fall a lot. That's like a bit that you constantly do where you fall getting on stage, you fall getting off stage. The Slot McFinnigan thing, you have like the whistle thing and like stuff like that. Right. Okay, we're gonna end it there. Pod's about to end. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys. This is episode 29 of Hunchback Insomniac. Next episode, we will have a guest on it. Please like, subscribe, comment. Thank you. Wow.